Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. I'm going to try and do videos. I'm trying to figure out why my videos are coming out blurry. One will come out fine and one's blurry. I think it's the lighting. So I'm trying a different light. I'm going to make this card today. This one is 99% Stampin' Up! Product. The only thing that was not Stampin' Up! Product on this was the background stamp that I used to kiss these stamps with. I'm going to try today using one that is Stampin' Up! And see how it comes out. And let's get started. So for today's card, you're going to need standard A2 card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded. We'll put that aside because we're done with that for now. Piece of Whisper white cardstock to stamp up the flowers and leaves on. There's a piece of Melon Mambo cardstock, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5, and I've die cut a rectangle out of the center of it that's 2.5 by 3.5. I think these are Spellbinders dies. I can't remember. I apologize, but they're the largest and then the second largest in this deck, and I've already cut it out. I just cut it out of the center to save paper. Then I have a smoky slate, and this one is 3 3/4 by 5, and again I cut a rectangle out of the center, which is 2 by 3. And again, that's the next smallest rectangle in those dies. Okay, we can put those away for now. You're also going to need, there's 3 stamp sets involved. The Secret Garden, this one I'm using this solid and this leaf. For the sentiment, I chose to use Wishing You a Day of Love and Happy Memories from Beautiful Bouquet. And it can be a birthday, or it can be a wedding, or anniversary, whatever you want it to be. And then I've also used this stamp from Colorful Seasons. Okay, and then the background stamp I'm going to try today is the burlap background. We're going to try using that. Okay, so, and then the colors of ink I'm using is Smoky Slate, Pacific Point, Melon Mambo, and Old Olive. Okay, I think I'm going to start with the leaf. So we'll start with the Old Olive. Open that up. Place aside. And I have a stamping mat underneath my scrap paper. So the first thing I need to do is open the Old Olive and the Pacific Point. I'm going to ink up the background stamp with this Pacific Point. I'm going to take the solid colored leaf and I'm going to ink it up with the green, with the Old Olive. And I'm going to do a technique that they call kissing. I'm going to take this stamp and stamp it onto the background one, and then stamp it onto my paper. And what it should do is pick up some of the color from here and add a little bit of a texture. Okay, then I also need some scrub to clean off the stamp in between each time. Again, I'm going to ink it with the green. Sequin came out of nowhere. Stamp onto the background, and then stamp onto my paper. Very nice. So I'm done with this stamp. Clean it off. Let's go ahead and put it away so I don't misplace it. And I'm done with the green ink. Now I want to wash this off because it has green on it. You could just done a stamped impression to make another background. It comes out kind of cool. These are a couple that I did from using other stamps. Just stamping this on, you know, so I didn't waste all that ink. But, all right, now we're going to do the flower. For the flower, again, we're going to stamp the background with the blue. To do the whole background. I just like to have a big enough area so I can stamp on a different section each time. Then we're going to use the Melon Mambo ink and the solid flower from the Secret Garden. We're going to ink in the Melon Mambo, and we're going to stamp into the blue background and onto our paper. Then we're going to do a second generation stamp and stamp again. Okay, wash our stamp off. We need one more bright one. Whoops. So make sure it's clean. Stamp into the Melon Mambo. Find a clean spot on our stamp. Makes a really cool texture on there. And then wash off our stamp. Put this one away. We're also going to need the dies that match this to cut them out. And I just line them up. And then put a little piece of Post-it note on it and run it through my Big Shot machine. Clean this off. These are absorber cloths I bought at Walmart. I just cut them up into smaller pieces. You buy them in the automotive section. I haven't gotten the new Stampin' Up! One yet. They work fairly well, except I've had so much ink on it, it's all over my fingers. We're done with the background stamp. Okay, let me put this aside for now. On this piece here, the largest of the two gray pieces, we are going to take this stamp. We're going to stamp our background. We're going to use the smoky slate. And just make a random stamped background. And you can do a second generation stamping too. I just have the second generation overlap. I just want to make sure I have enough interest everywhere on the background. There's one little spot over here when I add one. Okay, I'll clean that stamp off, put it away. This one I'm done with. So that's that piece. Then on this gray piece, I'm going to use my Misty to stamp the sentiment because I want it to come out crisp and nice, and I don't always have the best of luck stamping. And I don't have the Stampin' Up! Stamping tool, or I have the Misty, so I'm probably not going to order the other one right away. And I want to use the Melon Mambo ink. Stamp on this smoky slate cardstock. Ink it up well. And I forgot to say, I positioned it down towards the bottom and a little bit towards this side so I have room for my flowers to be. Not bad. A little bit on that top W. There we go. And I think I'm done with the ink. Okay, let me wash this off. Away. Alright, now to assemble the card, first I need to cut out the flowers, and I will be right back with you. I'll put the card here so you can see what it's going to look like. This one too. One flower. One leaf. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody must be walking past my house. flower to cut out. I'll be right with you. That's away. Alright, I've got all my pieces. Sorry it took so long. Alright, put this aside. And we're going to assemble the card. It's that simple. I'm going to start with this large Melon Mambo piece. We're going to use the Tombow multi-glue. Don't need a lot. Less you use, the better, because then it doesn't ooze out and get sticky all over everything. Adhere this to the card. Okay, take two, the rest of it. Okay, so I've got the pink base layer on, and I'm going to add this gray base layer. And I've given myself about 1/4 of an inch around the edges. Okay, now we're going to glue this one on, and you only really need glue around the edge because the center is cut out. Center that on there. Center this right on top of that. Okay, then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of our flowers. One in the center of each works fine. I want to take the back off yet because I kind of want to lay it out to see where I want to put the leaves first. Because they'll get glued on first. So then I can see about where that leaf can go on. I'll glue that leaf on. And just a couple little dabs on the back of each of the leaves. Don't need much glue really. So right about there. Stays put. This one will go down here. Okay. Just want to be cognitive that you don't cover up your greeting. Okay, then take the back off the dimensionals and lightly put them in place. Don't stick them down yet in case you want to move them. I want the light one underneath. Okay, then press them down. And that is our card for today. Very simple, but I think it's kind of pretty. Well, thanks for joining me in my craft room, and I hope you have a wonderful day.